Millie Weaver reporting for Infowars.com. This is Millennial Millie here, and we are covering the Open Carry Rally March here on Kent State or Kent campus. And Kaitlin Bennett is the one leading this march, this demonstration. And as you can see, we have many people out here who are open carrying. They're carrying rifles and handguns, and I even saw a gentleman with a sword. So people are carrying, and
You're open carrying too.
yeah, I'm open carrying a mic. So this is something that Antifa and the leftists absolutely hate. They hate free speech. So I am exercising my right as a journalist to be out here and cover what's going on, just like a lot of these other journalists are. So we have a large group of police in riot gear. If you can see behind them, behind that wall, there are a group of anti-gun protesters as well as Antifa and Black Lives Matter out there who are protesting this demonstration. They're just basically counter protesters. So it could be part of the reason why we see so many riot police here. We've been told that there are somewhere around 500 police officers on campus. So that group right there is not 500, but there are tons of other officers in their everyday police wear walking around patrolling the campus. Um, as you can see behind me, there are a lot of people open carrying. The atmosphere seems to be very happy, very high spirited. The people are wanting to be peaceful and just wanting to advocate for the Second Amendment. We'll talk to a couple more people here, but this march is about to begin. We're about to start marching and following this group along here. And then we will, at some point, go over and see and check out what's going on the counter protest side and just kind of cover from their perspective as well. We want to get both perspectives out here just to give you guys an idea of the situation that's happening right now on Kent. We have one side that's pro gun rights, pro Constitution, and you have people from a varying degree of different ideologies and sides of conservatism. But the main thing here is we even have libertarians and even some Democrats out here who are just pro Second Amendment and are just marching for gun rights. Whereas over here with Antifa and Black Lives Matter, we've been told that their main issue here is gun rights and the fact that they are advocating and they're holding some kind of a memorial service or prayer service for victims of gun violence. So we'll go over there and we'll kind of show you guys what's going over there on that end. But first, I want to interview some more people over here and get a clear idea of what their intentions are. Come on. Hi, sir. Hi. What brings you out here? What does your sign say?
Oh, yeah. I got my sign says LGBTQ rights are gun rights, and I am a gay man, and I certainly believe that you cannot have any rights without the right to self-defense because they're an extension of property rights, which are an extension of individual rights. And if you can't defend your right to life, then then you can't have a system in which people as individuals can live freely. And that's what I'm here for.
So are your intentions here to remain peaceful? And what do you think about people who are scared or worried about people just simply practicing the Second Amendment, open carrying?
I'm certainly optimistic about this whole thing. I think that there is some caution involved on both sides, but I think that shouldn't devolve into worry. And I think the people that are worrying about guns on campus are certainly probably just misinformed, or they don't have the right premises for their beliefs, and that's unfortunate.
Well, thank you. And are you a member of Kent? Are you a student?
Yes, I'm a senior at Kent State University, and I'm an English major, so I'm all about ideas and philosophy and those things, and this is my way of contributing to that.
So what would you consider your political affiliations to be?
Personally, um, I would say that I am a student of objectivism. I'm still learning about the philosophy, Ayn Rand's philosophy, but it's very much in line with some of the principles of pro-capitalism, pro-Second and First Amendment, pro-Constitution, and I think that I'm affiliated with Liberty Hangout because they are the group that most represents the values I believe in. So,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
Do you mind if I
Hi.
take a selfie with you real quick?
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. So, what brings you out here?
I actually prefer not to be on.
Oh, you prefer not to be in.
Thank
So, just real quick.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Up. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So right now, as you can see, it looks like we have a line forming. The march is about to begin. Let's get a quick shot from the front here. They've got a banner. It says Liberty Hangout, which is the organization that Kaitlin Bennett helped start here on Kent State. All right, let's go over here and talk to some more people. What brings you out here?
Students for open carry. I'm a student of Kent State University, and I think students should be allowed to open carry.
So, why do you think that they should be allowed to open carry?
Because let's say for a woman, for example, if a woman student here goes out during the night to downtown Kent and whatnot, if they get jumped and whatnot by a man and he has plans to rape her, if she doesn't have a gun, then she's defenseless, and he has an opportunity to get advantage of her. But if she had a gun, she would have the upper advantage, and she would be able to defend. She would be able to defend herself properly. So yeah, I support that sort of stuff. I'm anti-rape and all. So yeah, there you go.
So you support women's rights, and you believe that women's rights, they should have the right to own a gun?
Yes, I believe that they are. They have the right to own the gun. Yes, for defense, and hobby sake if they're into that sort of stuff as well. Which I am a hobbyist of guns as well. My brother actually owns a shotgun himself. I forget the brand type, but yeah, it's a shotgun nonetheless. He goes out and shoots targets. Sometimes does this sort of clay pigeon stuff. I do with with him as well. He has a friend as well, and yeah, it's a fun time overall. The hobby's sake. If let's say if we were living in Canada or even the UK, we wouldn't be able to do that sort of stuff because it would be illegal. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right. So let's go over here. All right. We'll talk to some more people as we go. Seeing a lot of people I've talked to. Hello. What brings you guys out here?
So I'm a student here at Kent State, and I'm just out here protesting the university policy that prevents me from being able to carry my firearm as a United States citizen that has that right.
So, what do you have to say to people who are somehow concerned that by people carrying guns that it would cause more mass shootings on campuses?
I think that that's totally unfounded. 98% of all mass shootings occur on gun-free zones. So that campus right now, well, not currently because it's swarming with police officers, but normally on a day-to-day basis is probably the most dangerous place in the state because it's the largest, or one of the largest gun-free zones in the state. So anybody with ill intentions, a little unhinged individual when they come on campuses or anywhere to commit mass shooting, they don't care about the gun-free zone signs, they don't care about the rules, and they come on and there's no one to stop them. There's no self-defense. Students are sitting ducks, essentially.
So, is your philosophy that basically if everyone takes their own security into their own hands and carries a gun, that they're more likely to be able to defend themselves and defend others?
Oh, absolutely. Individual self-defense is an individual responsibility, and a well-armed society is a polite society. If people thought that students were carrying guns on campus, it doesn't even have to be true, but just the perceived threat that there is a possibility that people will shoot back if you come on campus and shoot would be more than enough deterrent to prevent any mass shootings.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Something, Millie, that recently happened is Governor Brown signed an order.
Oh, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Recently, Governor Brown of California signed an order making it that you have to be 21 to purchase a firearm. We should ask some of these gun owners what they think about that new policy.
Okay.
You forgot to ask about a straw.
Oh, yeah. Why do you have... This is contraband here,
Right, my
sir.
contraband straw holster.
You're open carrying straws.
Yeah, in direct violation of California law, brand straws, and it's obviously a tongue-in-cheek at our friends over there that want to ban and take away everything from us. So this is just to kind of poke fun at them, is that as students we're not allowed to carry our firearms on campus, and if they had their way, we wouldn't be able to carry straws either.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Oh, what brings you guys out here? Are you guys students?
Yeah, not from Kent State, Roosevelt though.
Okay. So is that high school?
Yeah, I mean, I don't go to school anymore, but
School's bad.
yeah, we're just
We're here because we're just locals coming out here pro Second Amendment. Everyone else is kind of bitching about not having. Or,
Yeah,
well,
honestly, it's just gotten like everyone's just too PC now. It's like annoying as hell. Like I'm just tired of it, honestly. It's like, come on, yeah, for
Yeah.
real. Free Alex Jones.
Free Alex Jones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Hey, what brings you guys out here?
Supporting Kaitlin.
Supporting Kaitlin.
Supporting Kaitlin. Well, I see you guys are carrying too,
Yes, absolutely.
and you took us shooting.
I did.
You did. He was a great gun instructor. So, why do you think that people should be able to open carry here on campus?
Why should they be able to open carry? They should be able to conceal carry or open carry. I mean, it's our Second Amendment right. We shouldn't be infringed upon just because a university or a school or a business doesn't believe in it. I mean, our amendments don't end where somebody else's feelings begin.
So, what do you guys think about how a lot of people, particularly on the left, are fearful and afraid, thinking that you guys are violent, you know, that this is a violent thing, people coming out here with guns? What would you say to them?
All they have to do is take a look at us. We're not the ones that are violent. We didn't come here looking for a fight. We didn't come with baseball bats or our face covered like they do. You know, this is as peaceful as it gets every time.
What would you say?
So there's 100 plus people out here with rifles. Not one shot's been fired. We haven't engaged in the other side at all yet. All day long, we've had cars driving by, throwing stuff at us, cussing at us. You know, we're just out here exercising our freedoms, and that's it. That's all we're trying to do.
Just another display of the so-called tolerant left.
Right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks. All right. Oh, excuse me. All right. What brings you guys out here?
I'm just here to support the Second Amendment, just to kind of bring awareness to the issue. I don't think a lot of college students are necessarily aware of the full extent of what the Second Amendment means and the right to defend yourself means. So I'm kind of trying to engage with students today and hopefully bring some awareness that that they have a right and it's being suppressed. And I think we need to stand up for our rights before we don't have them anymore, especially with the Second Amendment being the right that defends every single other right.
So, what kind of gun are you carrying today?
I am carrying a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 2, chambered 9mm with tritium night sights.
Okay, so what do you have to say to these anti-protesters, the anti-gun protesters that are out here today that are fearful that this is a scary thing, that guns are a scary thing?
It's just a piece of metal and plastic. That's all a gun is. My main issue with them is they think that only the government should have guns, but then they're the ones also saying that the government is tyrannical, and I don't see how they can come to that conclusion when the two are directly in conflict with each other, that's the best way to do things.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks for speaking to us. Oh, and nice shirt, by the way. Hello. Hi. I'm starstruck. All right. Looks like the march is moving along. They're marching pretty quickly. The police are moving. The people who are kind of seen running, those are mostly media that are trying to frame up shots. But the march seems to be moving at a steady pace. There's a lot of media out here. I would guess that a majority of the media is likely student media, but there's a lot of mainstream outlets as well. Okay, now the counter-protesters and Antifa are starting to move up along here. They're following us as we're following this group here. This should get interesting. Oh, here they come. Here they come.
Stay up by the police. Okay. For real.
They're running. Look, no, show. Okay, so these counter protesters, Antifa and such, are literally running up to try to confront these peaceful
No,
pro-gun
Millie, get
protesters.
to the fucking head of the line, guys. Seriously. For real.
Okay. Okay, so the group of Antifa and protesters are literally running. I do see a lot of Antifa. We're not fascists! They're yelling about fascists. People from this side are saying, we're not fascists. Fascists, take the guns away! So let's talk to this. All right, we're gonna kind of come stay up here by Kaitlin as this kind of escalates.
Because if shit goes south, you're gonna want to be near the police, not freaking back around.
Look at this group here. They're literally coming here to look. Take note. The police are now making a barrier.
They're forming a line.
You need to be prepared for some shit.
All right, let's go up here with Kaitlin.
Wow.
This is so ridiculous.
Okay, where we're at.
Kaitlin, where are we?
Yeah.
We are in front of the queue. We're right by the visitors parking lot. I don't even know what they're shouting. I don't even think they know what's going on.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to talk bad about him. I just thought that happened.
Watch that guy.
Stay away from me, sir.
What's up?
Keep walking.
Stay away from me.
Sir, keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking.
Watch out.
Keep walking.
Go that way.
No.
Thank you, sir.
So right now, Antifa people and people in masks are coming up and harassing and getting in people's faces. They're coming off very aggressive.
Stay with the police.
People are yelling, no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. And what's ridiculous here is all of the people here in this group have expressed very open and tolerant viewpoints. We have Black Americans marching with us. We have LGBTQ Americans. We have people who are from Democrat sides of the aisle marching with us, just simply marching for the Second Amendment.
They love you, Kate. Don't worry.
They've got plenty. They're good.
right, so right now, guys, I will say this is getting really heated. The anti-gun protesters are literally here screaming, yelling, trying to intimidate, trying to stop the march from proceeding forward, trying to violently protest the Second Amendment. They're blocking the... Whoa, whoa!
Look out, look out, look out! Weapons!
They're throwing stuff.
They're throwing stuff.
You got a grenade!
Get her down. Get her down.
They just threw a fake grenade water balloon at us. We literally just got hit with a fake water balloon grenade.
What did they do to you?
They threw some kind of a fake grenade water balloon. Wait, no. Get behind the police. Get behind the police. This is getting really ugly, guys. This is getting really ugly. Really bad. We need to stay by the police over here.
This is the best spot, right here. Right here.
We need to stay over here. Stay over here. They're forming a circle.
You guys move to the right.
Okay, sorry. They're behind. Antifa's right behind you. I don't want to be right here. Over here. Right here. Okay, so we're just trying to find a safe spot to be right now.
What was thrown at us?
They threw some kind of a fake-looking grenade water balloon at us, and they blocked off the march from progressing forward. There's a lot of media here who are also shooken up because of this intimidation and bullying. We are now completely surrounded by Antifa. We're completely surrounded, and the police are trying to do what they can to contain the situation. But just to note here, the Antifa is 100% attacking and becoming violent. Gavin, we need to go. We need to go.
You can't leave. There's no safe way out yet.
Sarge, back pedal slow. Slow.
Slow.
Whatever you choose to do. Slow. Back pedal slow. Come on, Larry.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Over here. Stay with these guys here. Over here. Over here.
Antifa! Antifa! You say Antifa! Antifa! Antifa!
Real men show their faces.
So what's happening so far is the police are trying their best to contain the situation, but as soon as the groups started, the Second Amendment open carry, campus carry groups started peacefully marching to do their demonstration, they were instantly rushed and ran upon by a large, massive crowd of Antifa and counter-protesters that were violent, that were trying to already start assaulting people, get in people's faces, scream, cuss at them, block the march from proceeding. Police had to get into it with the Antifa counter-protesters. This is horrific, guys. This is a very bad situation. We are essentially trapped. The police are trying to contain the situation, but I can see why the police have brought so many people out here. There were a lot more counter-Antifa protesters than we initially saw or thought. But overall, this is a bad situation here, and I will say that without a doubt, 100% of the violence the intimidation, the agitation is coming from the side over here with Antifa. This group would have just continued to peacefully march along and end their demonstration. Well, it does look like we might actually have some people blending in with Kaitlin's march, and that they might just be agitprop out here to get into it with Antifa. But so far, I will say, the violence, the agitation, the altercations are 100% coming from Antifa. Look behind, you can see it says fascists go home, you know, FUCK Nazis, hate has no place here. These people are so demented that they really believe that the group here, who are a mixed batch of people who are just simply standing up for the Second Amendment, are violent and that they are bigoted people. When, you know, we've interviewed LGBTQ people, we've interviewed African Americans, people of all kinds of nationalities, races, people of different aisles on the spectrum. Some guy just hit this guy. Some Antifa guy just hit a part of this second rights demonstration. This is not looking good.
We're gonna have to wait till they get the National Guard here.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to bring in the National Guard or some really big force here.
People just sneaking over on
Yeah.
this side to flank it.
Yeah,
Here to
we've
flank
got
it, because,
Antifa people sneaking over here. You know, these people are professional agitators.
I found like a water balloon that had instructions on it that said pull and throw. I brought it up to a cop and he's like, just throw it down there for now. So there's like people bringing shit here to start stuff.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. A guy has just been arrested by the cops for most likely assaulting a police officer. He's put in the cuffs right there.
Something that I want to mention is that I have family on all sides, both father, mother side, that are Kent State alumnus. This was actually one of the schools I wanted to go to when I was a teenager. I know a lot of the history about Kent State. My grandfather did a lot of the construction here. Uncle did crane work. Uncle on my father's side was actually in the National Guard at the time. And what they've all told me about is that they all knew in advance that protesters were going to be bussed in, agitators were bussed in, and all the violence that happened at Kent State back in the 70s has been blamed on bussed-in agitators. And so what really needs to be asked today is how much of the hundreds of Antifa people that showed up here are literally a repeat of history from the 1970s, that being bussed-in agitators.
Yeah, it's not a pretty situation out here right now, guys. I will say it's getting pretty scary. This is along the lines so far of the intensity of some of what we experienced at Charlottesville, although we haven't seen violence from the right at all. Look, another Antifa guy arrested. It looks like they're going to be actually doing their job. The police are doing their job. They're making arrests. They are trying to keep the peace. They can see who the true agitators are because they're facing them. They're facing the agitators, and they're concerned about the ones who are being aggressive, which are these Antifa protesters. And you do see we have refused fascism here. Antifa's here. We have a lot of groups on the extreme left out here who are protesting just literally the Second Amendment. Because people who are engaging and participating in this Second Amendment rally here, or this march here, are people from all sides of the political spectrum, really, except for the extreme left. Kaitlin? I don't want to be over there. It's too close.
She's in the middle right there.
Yeah. Okay, let's go get Kaitlin's take on this. So it looks like the police are trying to instruct Kaitlin and the leadership of this march what to do and how to safely get people away from this. The police just said, I think a lot of people are going to get hurt.
We're trying to protect you, but I can only excuse them.
Police just said he's trying to protect her, but he can only do so much.
Copy that. We're staying here with Kaitlin. They're trying to get us to turn. Okay.
What?
You okay?
Yeah, we're okay. We're pretty shooken up because this is very, very bad. What's going on? What do you think about this? Did you anticipate this level of violence?
No. From everything on their social media activity, we were anticipating honestly less than 100 people. This is probably 10 times that. This is crazy that if you stand up for the right to self-defense, you're met with violence against you. That just kind of shows why we carry in the first place.
Which you guys, your whole goal here is to be safe and to not have to use, but just to open carry.
Exactly. And it's a shame that this is tolerated in this country. It's a damn shame that the country that was founded on freedom of speech and the right to bear arms has now come to this.
Well, you know, what they're doing here, this group is not peacefully protesting. So I don't believe when the officer says they have a right to do this, they're actually engaging in terrorism.
Exactly.
Antifa is a group that's been listed in some states as a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
So this is the terrorist group that's literally using violence, threats of violence, to politically intimidate people who are trying to engage in a peaceful protest. I mean, Kaitlin has literally done everything she can to try to make this as peaceful as possible, make sure nobody is going to be violent from people on her, on her side. You've tried to do so much. So how do you feel about what's going on right now?
Well, we can see why the police are here because of that over there. It's not because of any of us. It's because of them. And that's exactly what the university should have stated in their email out to everybody. But instead they made us look like the bad guys. Look what's happening right here. This is fascism. This is fascism, not us.
Exactly. They're the ones shutting down free speech, shutting down people who are trying to exercise the right to own a gun, the Second Amendment. And, in a fascist country, you would not have the right to free speech. You would not have the right to own a firearm. So this group here is extremely anti-fascist by definition. Yet this group here is engaging in fascist techniques to shut down people's rights in this country while pointing the finger over here and calling them fascist when in fact they are the ones engaging in the fascist behavior. It's a very simple tactic. Point the finger at someone else for exactly what you're doing, and that's exactly what these people are doing over there. And we know that many of these extremist groups over on the left are communist groups that have been known to have violence before. So we're getting to a point now where we can't just have peaceful demonstrations if you're conservative.
Surrounded, so if stuff starts getting thrown, it's going to create an ambiguity of where it's coming from.
Yeah, we seem to be completely surrounded right now. The police are trying to do everything they can to get us through. So Kaitlin, what's going to happen now? Is this, are the police going to try to get people out so they can go home?
I think they're trying to figure that out themselves. I really do. I want to go see my dad.
And look, Kevin, honestly, I need to say something to you really quick that I'm concerned about. I don't want anyone to hear because of the situation.
I'm not moving. I'm just...
Are you sure? Okay. No, are you having fun?
Of course not. Right. Uh-oh. Just making sure everybody's safe, that's all. Trying to.
Were you guys anticipating this level of resistance?
Can't underestimate it. I mean, it is what it is.
What do you think about this out here, the violence and the level of hostility that's coming from these anti-gun protesters?
Just ridiculous. I mean, they were worried about us because we have firearms, which we're legally allowed to have. Yet they're not dragging us out of the crowds, throwing us in handcuffs. They're not going to pepper spray any of us. We're just simply walking.
Right, and many of these leftists over here would like to brainwash people to say, oh, it's because the police are fascists, because the police are aligned with the fascists, right? But when the reality is that we know that the real situation here is that these people have stayed peaceful. And that's why they're not being arrested. If any of you guys were to engage in violence and try to attack the police, to try to attack people like they've been doing, you guys would be arrested all the same. And the reason why people are being arrested over from these Antifa groups is because they're violently confronting this group, which this group has said over and over again, we are going to remain peaceful. We are a peaceful group. We do not believe in accomplishing our goals with violence. That's not, this is what they've said. The group over here, Antifa, they've had mission statements where they believe that they're going to violently use violent means to shut people down.
Don't even say it.
Okay. Okay, so basically.
Take this. I need to turn my backpack around.
Okay.
I'm not. Sorry, man.
Please share this feed, guys, so that we can get the word out about the amount of anti-Second Amendment rhetoric and violence that is going on out here from the leftists, from Antifa. We need to share this message that there are groups that are actively opposing our right to free speech, our right to the Second Amendment, and that should be concerning to people. This group out here has tried to remain peaceful. Yeah, the group is completely surrounded, pretty much. The leftists have surrounded the group. So someone's playing music, which is not good because they're that's a tactic that they could use to try to make it hard to audibly hear what's going on and commands that Antifa might be giving to each other or the police might be giving. Yeah, well, we've seen Antifa engage in military type maneuvering, but we've also seen them engage in that when we were in Charlottesville as well. And we've seen this out here today. They've encircled the group. They'll send little people to kind of sneak through the lines and go into the side of the group they're attacking and cause problems there, flanking people essentially. They've already started throwing. They did throw one, looked like some kind of a fake, like a water balloon that looked like a grenade, which caused the police to panic and the group to panic as well. I panicked because I'm like, hey, if someone's throwing a grenade, get out of the way because that's not a good thing.
Want to tell our audience what happened to you?
Well, we were just trying to cover this event that's going on here, and as we were walking forward, Antifa came in front of the group and essentially blocked you guys and made it so you couldn't pass through, and then somebody from the Antifa side threw what looked like a grenade, but upon further discovery, it looked like it was a water balloon that had been done up with like a little pin and a thing to look like a grenade, so it's panicked people. The police stepped in, the police panicked. I was like trying to get away from the item because I'm like, oh my gosh, is this a grenade or is this some kind of a smoke bomb or some kind of thing that's going to be deployed? But, all in all, it's been ugly out here, and the ugliness has really been coming from this side over here. It's been coming from the Antifa, the refuse fascism, the extremists on the left. So it's pretty much what's been going on. Right now we're just kind of standing around by the police, in proximity to the police, to try to ensure our safety and make sure that no one's going to be being attacked or hurt. But I will say there's Antifa on all sides of this protest here. Let's talk to these people.
Yeah, it's like, you followed us.
We were mixed as can be,
So, ma'am, what do you think about the level of hostility that's been coming from the people over there?
I don't even know where it's coming from because we're not here to talk about the KKK or anything like that. So I don't know who was getting them all riled up. I don't know who they came with, but we're here about Campus Carry to talk about pro-Second Amendment rights for all students across the nation, to support Kaitlin. I don't know where they got that information from, so they need to take that somewhere else and stop following us. They're following us around. We're here walking freely, and they're preventing us from moving, and if I'm not mistaken, it's breaking the law. So they need to go.
Do you believe that they're terrorizing?
Yeah.
They're terrorizing. Would you say what they're doing is engaging in some level of terrorism to bully you guys into going away?
Yes, they're trying to. They're trying to intimidate us to go away, but they forget we have the guns, we have the training. They're the ones who aren't armed. And they're the ones who are hiding behind face masks. We're not. So if you're going to protest, it's fine, but don't trap us from moving around.
Look at all the drones. You see all that? Isn't that wild?
They wouldn't be here if it was just
all right.
us.
What's going on? Where the police are moving? Who's moving?
The whole group is moving. Get yourself on camera.
Okay. All right.
Where's Kaitlin?
I think she might be probably up toward the front. Okay, the police are escorting us. It looks like we're being escorted out because of safety reasons.
They're taking us back to the parking lot.
Yeah.
after that very brisk walk that we had.
They literally chased after us like they were hyenas trying to eat us.
Yeah, no, I've never seen them live like this before. Like I've obviously seen all the YouTube videos, watch InfoWars, but I've never in person seen the response like that. It was really visceral and they were nasty.
I have been to over 20 open carry rallies. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 7 years. I've never seen anything like this before.
Do you think that this is partially because of fake news that's being stoked by the leftist mainstream outlets trying to say that this group has something to do with white supremacy or KKK or racism or bigotry of some sort? Like, where are they getting this idea?
I'm not really sure because I held my first open carry rally that I held. A girl from my high school actually claimed that it was a bunch of white supremacists that were coming and organizing an event against her event. And when I saw the post, I called her out. I said, "Oh, am I black? Am I white now?" And on top of that, I asked her to apologize. I said, "You're insulting my friends who are coming to this event. They are not white supremacists." So it is a left thing, honestly. It is a left thing. She's definitely leftist, and they're not afraid to make up lies and make up anything they want to get what they want.
So you think that it's manipulation? You think that these people can't really truly believe that this is some racist group, that they're just doing what they're doing to get their political issue to be the one that's accepted?
Oh, definitely. Without a doubt. I mean, look at them. They're covering their faces. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be photographed or videotaped. Why is that?
Yeah, it does seem like it seems like terrorism to me because, violently trying to intimidate and use violence to shut someone down from being able to exercise their rights, their right to peaceful protest, their right to open carry.
This is similar to lynching. This is what they did to people when they lynched them, right? They would attack them, they would corner them, and they would kill them, right? This is what it looks like to me. Because we didn't even come from the same direction they were going. We were going in opposite direction, and they literally came chasing after us. We weren't even walking in their direction. So it's not like we weren't looking for a fight. They came to us looking for a fight.
So this was like a lynch mob from people who have political angst and issues with people who have a little bit more conservative-esque views.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw the one big sign was like "fuck Trump" and "fuck Pence," and it's like this rally has nothing to do with Pence. Like Kate never said anything about Trump or Pence or any of that stuff, but those were most of the signs.
Yeah, this is not a promotional rally for any political party right now.
And, I have spoken to people from all sides, like people who are a little bit more Democrat-leaning, people who are LGBTQ, people from different ethnic backgrounds. So it doesn't seem like what we're experiencing, what we're seeing here firsthand, isn't matching up to what these anti-gun protesters or anti-fascist protesters are saying.
Yeah.
They're saying they're anti-fascist, but they're the ones engaging in fascism.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't know where they got the information from, and I don't know why they're here. They don't belong here. This is not. If they want to create their own event, they're more than welcome to do so. We wouldn't come and crash their event, but they shouldn't be here right now.
I find it really interesting too that Kent State tried to charge Kate and her group the $14,000 for the safety, but I don't think we've been the ones that have been the safety concern today. And Antifa didn't have to be here, like Princess said. They showed up and they chased us down, so why didn't they have to pay for the security fees? But Kent State didn't ask them to pay.
Right, and many of these Antifa groups, I even doubt that many of them are students on this campus.
For sure.
A lot of them are probably just people who came to the campus to try to stop or make a statement of whatever brainwashing they believe, that this is some kind of a bigoted group when it's not.
100%, no, I totally agree. And again, if they're wearing masks, then you can't ever verify if they're students or not.
Yeah.
But
And most of them are older people.
right, yeah.
So they're definitely not students.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that older people can't be educated, but I don't see that they're students here.
They could be alumnus from when this stuff happened back in the 70s.
Yeah, but then talk to us. That's why we're here. We're here to talk to you guys. If you want to be immature, go be immature somewhere else. Go home and be immature on the internet. But we're here to have a discussion. Yeah, exactly. There is.
Wow. Well, so far it looks like the police are just trying to keep things contained as they escort and move this group out farther back, I guess, into the parking lot, maybe where the group originally stood. Look, okay, so this guy's yelling at this girl here.
I didn't hear what you said.
You're not going to got paid $14,000
About what?
What? Are you on the wrong side? Quit playing. Quit playing. Are you serious? You were definitely not against that student. That was shot by police while exercising their right to carry a weapon. What the hell? Nobody came out here to represent them. But you standing over there with inaccurate. Oh my God.
So when was this?
Hold on, baby. Where you from?
When was this?
This actually went to trial this year. They just got the court case against them just got dismissed.
Against who?
Against the two people who were shot by police. So you don't feel like it's over? For exercising their right to carry.
Can you please stop talking while he's talking? Stop talking! Can you tell your friend to stop talking over? I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you over his loud mouth. I'm sorry. So why should I be over here? Why should I? Why?
I think it's because they believe what we were talking about. They believe that these are racist, bigoted people.
Do you notice why your crowd looks a bit
This-
homogeneous?
Actually, it doesn't. If you look through our crowd, there's a lot of people in this crowd.
Get into it. Oh, because you're unprepared. You got all good. No
He's
friends,
got,
baby.
that's funny, he's got just as much white people in his crowd.
No, seriously. And honestly, all he does is run his mouth. He's not even having a conversation. He's having a monologue, not a dialogue.
You don't know my political affiliation.
I think they don't get that this is just simply a Second Amendment march.
That's what it is.
Because I'm sure they're asking him, is he Second Amendment?
Hey, bro, I'm a doctor. I don't need nobody to tell me what to think.
You're a doctor? You're a doctor of what?
Nobody tell me what to think.
You're a doctor of what?
Apparently, you should need some instruction.
No, I don't. I don't need instruction from you. You're crazy. You're crazy.
If you notice, she's the only one of those folks over there, and I guarantee you, she don't get how she is equally subject to the things that we are.
Oh, okay. So what is your angle here? Why do you just keep talking? I can't hear you. So why can't students defend themselves on campus? Why is that? Of course I know the history of here.
You don't articulate it. You don't articulate yourself very well, so I don't understand the point you're trying to make.
Why not?
I don't know history. Hey, where you go to college at? You a graduate?
Why should it be?
I gotta call the president. That's some bullshit. You got bachelor's degree? You got bachelor's degree?
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. If you're gonna interrupt, I'm not talking to you then. Bye. Have a good day.
You must be a music major.
Don't interrupt me. You're having a monologue.
So don't tell me I don't know shit.
So that sounds like education privilege.
Why? Why?
So we've got a little bit of people trying to have conversation, but it's just arguing.
This is how black people behave. Ever since I moved to this country, I'm from Ghana. I'm an immigrant, and I'm a legal citizen here. Black people have always treated me badly because of the way I speak. In my country, we speak British English, so I speak very properly. And black kids have always had a problem with the way I spoke. And even as an adult, I've heard worse things from black people than any white person ever. I've never had a racist white person say anything to my face before, but I've had plenty of black people say some really ignorant shit to my face before, just like she is. She has a big mouth, she can speak, but in a monologue fashion, but when we're trying to have a conversation with two people, two ideas, she doesn't want to shut up for 2 seconds and answer any of my questions or answer what I have to say, just like the big guy next to her.
Did you find out whether or not she's actually for the Second Amendment?
No, because she wouldn't let me speak. She wouldn't let me speak at all. So how can I talk to you if you won't let me speak or ask you any questions? And then your friends are yelling over you. I can't hear anything you're saying. So
yeah, this has just evolved into childish chants. They're saying Black Lives Matter.
I I represent her rights every time I go to one of these events, and she doesn't care, and that's fine. It's her right to not care. But don't tell me what I can and cannot do. Don't tell me what side I can stand on and what side I can't stand on, just because I have the same skin color as you.
Well, I wonder if she knows the history in America of the lynch mobs, like you're talking about, where they would come and attack and lynch African Americans who didn't have guns, who didn't have a right. The people in the South, the real true racists, they protested. They did not want African Americans to be able to have the Second Amendment right. They didn't want them to have that right because they could bully them, intimidate them, send mobs after them.
Police after them.
Exactly. And so what you're doing here, they should respect that. They should be standing with you. They should be standing with all of us. But, they should be like, yeah, we all support guns. But the problem is I think that they have some kind of mixed up message in their head that this is something it's not. That's what I think.
They're brainwashed into thinking everything's black and white people against black people, vice versa. They're always brainwashed into that, and they're taught that as growing up as kids, and then they never branch out. They always stay with themselves, and there's nothing wrong with having community, but they're very ignorant. Let's listen to what he has to say. Oh yeah.
Let's see.
He just shouts people down.
Yeah.
He's a professor.
All wrong. Wrong. Loser. Wrong. I'm trying to tell you, man, there are no titles. There are no titles. We're all people here at the end of the day.
But in my world, I live as a doctor.
Trust and believe me. If you get arrested, they don't give two shits if you're a doctor.
Well, I want you.
Believe me.
I want you to protest on my behalf.
Can I ask you?
If I go to Walmart right now with my pistol, they're gonna run in and shoot me.
This is what I'm gonna tell you.
Look. I open carry all the time. I'm not gonna stop talking.
Okay. So
Can I ask you a question really quick, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a professor here at the university?
No, I'm an alumni of Kent State University, class of '98.
Okay, so what is your grievance here with these people? What can you please tell me?
Well, there's a couple reasons why I believe they're here. First of all, to promote fascism, which doesn't include black people. That's one. Secondly, this is an institution of higher learning. It's one of the best institutions in this country. They are having their gun protests at an institution that has nothing to do with infringing on their rights for being able to be gun owners. So bringing that here is inappropriate. So my problem with them is the location and the underlying philosophy that they attend to.
Okay, well, you seem like a very educated person. Do you know whether or not in fascist countries, people had the right to bear arms, the right to have a gun?
Well, this is not really about a cross-cultural comparison because black people in other countries don't get shot at the same rate they do in America. So my focus is on the issues and policies that govern this country.
Are you for African Americans having the right to own a gun and protect themselves?
I'm for African Americans having every constitutional right that every other American has.
Okay, so, I'll just tell you right now, I've interviewed a lot of the people here in this group, and what I will say is I've asked every one of them, are you for bigotry? Are you for fascism? And they are all saying, no, we're not. So I find it interesting. Where did you hear or read about that this group was racist in origin or fascist in origin?
So Joey Gibson, alt-right fascist guy.
Joey Gibson isn't here. He was
One
removed.
of the reasons why this group got together.
Okay, so because of Joey Gibson, that's why you believe that okay, because
if
the leader.
the marketing changed as of yesterday, fine. Yeah. But as of yesterday, Joey Gibson was supposed to be making an appearance here, and the people, assumably, who came out here were supporters of that type of philosophy, which I don't believe has any place in America.
Okay, so is it? Oh, sorry. So you believe that Joey Gibson is a racist or a fascist?
Well, anybody who defines themselves as an alt-right person is against. They're xenophobic. They're misogynistic. Otherwise just a basic bigot and racist.
So if that were true, why do so many African Americans, Hawaiian nationals, Mexican, Joey Gibson is Hispanic, why, and they're saying outwardly they're pro-capitalist, so why would they stick around with Joey Gibson and his crew if what you're saying is true?
Who are these people? Because it's like,
why would they do that?
Well, the argument is sort of like saying, well, before Trump was elected, a lot of rappers really hung out with him and thought he was cool. Well, there are purposes why people deal with other people. That doesn't mean that they're righteous people. It means that they're pursuing their own personal interests. But that is no way a byproduct of acceptance by a community.
So do you think that a lot of the reason we have such hostility going back and forth is because people aren't taking the patience and the time to actually talk to each other in a cordial manner?
Well, I would not agree that there's hostility. I mean, I think that what we're having is healthy debate. We don't have to agree, and if we use a couple potty words, cool. But I think that's part of what the American fabric is about. Being able to confront somebody about their ideas, hope that they have facts to back them up, and be able to exchange ideas. I don't have any hate towards any of these people, but I do have a problem with them bringing this type of event to this campus.
You know, this group of people, that I spoke to the leader, Kaitlin Bennett, and she says that she actually wishes that all of you guys would march with them, because the only thing, she said the absolute only thing that they're marching for today and that they're adamant and believing for is gun rights. That's it. Gun rights. And we know that Antifa and many of these refuse fascism groups, they carry guns, and I've seen them carry guns at protests.
I think that if you want to have your gun protest, do it down Main Street, Kent, but not Kent State University.
This is what I'm going to tell you. You want us to do it somewhere else? We're going to go ahead and write a bill at the State House down in Columbus tomorrow, and we're going to strip all the state funding from this campus. Do it on your own, brother.
Good luck with
Do
that.
it on your own.
Man, good luck with that.
Really?
Man, do you have any
Really?
more? You have
It's
any more
public.
for me? Because that sounds
It's public.
absurd.
It's public, dude. We can do
Well,
whatever it is we want to do. We pay for this.
All in all,
Because I also have to talk to educated people, and that's just that.
Really?
That getting past
Really?
the legislature, that even being acknowledged as realistic, just sounds absurd.
do you consider yourself a leader here in this kind of group?
I consider myself an alumnus of Kent State University and a person who's willing to stand up and speak out.
So, can I ask you a favor here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I know that I will testify to you that I've talked to like almost all these people here over and interviewed them, that they have good intentions, they're not racist, they're not bigots, they're not fascists, that they are literally just here for the Second Amendment, okay? They're literally for the Second Amendment, which every American can benefit from, okay? So can you, from a leadership standpoint, try to help calm people down so we don't have violence? Because you don't want violence here on this university.
Well, I would disagree that people are not calm. The police are doing a very great job at keeping everybody separate. There haven't been any confrontations or fights. So characterizing this as somehow an aggressive venue, I wouldn't say that. They got their signs, they're standing over there peacefully, and so is everybody else over here.
Things have kind of calmed down a little bit, but they were kind of escalated for a while, weren't they?
No, I didn't see any escalation. And I've been with this group since they crossed the street. So no, I would not characterize it that way.
What do you think the group's aiming to do here today? Are they trying to intimidate this group to leave the campus?
Well, I don't know what their intentions are beyond what they've advertised this event to be. But what I can say again is that this is an institution of higher learning. This is an institution where the students themselves or the employees themselves cannot carry guns. So what purpose do you serve bringing a band of people, many of which who are not even Kent State students or graduates, to Kent State University to stand up for your Second Amendment right?
I think
that doesn't make any sense.
The purpose here, from what I've gotten from the leader of this event, Kaitlin, is the purpose is to change that rule.
Well, Kaitlin may have a
Change the
connection
rule.
with the campus because she recently graduated. Kudos to her. But changing the rule.
That's what they're marching for.
Let me be clear. I'm all for people's having gun rights. But drunk college students whose brains are still developing are not the ideal people to be up in a dorm room settling petty beefs with firearms.
I'm a college student. Do I get drunk every weekend or every day? No.
You're no longer in the conversation.
I am in the conversation because you're trying to
lady
characterize
was
all
having a
college students as
conversation
drunk
with me.
idiots, and I'm not a drunk idiot. I'm not a college
Well,
student
you're just
too.
an idiot at the moment because you can't stay calm and quiet
I'm very
and
calm.
stay over there.
You're the one who keeps
I don't
talking
believe
over
she was
people.
pointing the
You
mic
keep
at
talking
you.
over people.
Oh, I'm not talking over
Yes,
people.
you are.
I don't hear you.
You just keep
because
shouting
you
down
don't
people.
really resonate because you're just speaking. I feel this way. I don't talk
I
about
didn't
feelings.
say
I talk
anything
about
about
facts.
I'm
And
talking
right
about
now,
facts.
you're
You have not
really-
spoken any
you're not
fact
really
at all.
telling me
You've spoken
anything
no fact at all.
policy-wise.
You just keep talking and talking and talking,
Okay,
hoping
well,
that people will
give
hear
me
you.
the mic. So,
Well,
what you gotta say?
we can have this
What you gotta
dialogue.
say?
Let's go.
What you
We
gotta
can have
say?
the dialogue.
No,
What were you saying?
I don't
when you came
respect
up
what
there?
you have to
I
say
don't care.
to have a
Then
debate
go
with
away.
you.
This is
So,
not your event.
I mean,
Then leave.
I think
Nobody
that
asked you to
in the
be
same way
here.
you can stand
Nobody
here with
asked you
your
to be
gun,
here.
I can stand
Nobody
here
asked you to
and
be
run
here.
my mouth.
Nobody asked you to be here.
Can too.
Yeah,
Don't you forget it.
Oh, okay, they're pushing people back now. Pushing people back. Watch out. Yeah, back up, Gavin. Back up, Gavin. They're trying to break the police line. Back up.
Get your boy. Get your boy.
They're trying to break the police line. So that was Antifa's attempt to break the police line. Once again, being violent. I'm not sure what, they're trying to shove and push into police, which I would think that that's an assaulting an officer, but I don't think the police can, they try to make arrests when they can, but I think that they're so busy trying to just keep the peace that that's why they get away with it. Let's see. Hello.
Hi, this is Mark from Catch Me on Bill Lewis, 1975. Alex, I have a message for you. You keep fighting, and us info warriors are going to keep fighting on the streets for you. Thank you. Thanks, Millie.
All right, so we're just out here literally covering what's going on. I just want to, okay. I was promised ice cream cake. Oh, it's a group of Antifa. What? What? Yeah, no, I don't want to be near them. Let's go over here. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So, okay. Hi, sir. What brings you out here today?
Just supporting supporting my right to bear arms.
Yeah.
He's an 8-year veteran of the Army, and he's disabled with multiple sclerosis. He's my brother.
What do you have to say to people who believe that this group is associated with fascism or with bigotry?
Well, don't fascists try to silence other people? And you look in every fascist society, what's the first thing they do to their people? They disarm them. And then they begin to strip away their rights. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. We got to move and keep with the police. Watch out.
You were interviewing a man in a wheelchair that was open carrying, obviously.
Yeah, I was just interviewing a man in a wheelchair who was open carrying, who was a veteran who fought and became disabled while he's serving. And he fought for the right for people to be able to bear arms. And people out here are essentially making it so that people can't even engage in a peaceful demonstration and open carry and exercise the Second Amendment. The police are having to escort the march, Kaitlin Bennett's open carry march, out to their cars because of the violence that's been happening from the left and from the Antifa Black Lives Matter groups. So they're essentially being escorted out here in order to ensure the group's safety. And they are sticking with this group and protecting this group because this group has been the victim of multiple attempts of assault, items being thrown, Antifa running around. Yeah, so we've got looks like an Antifa person here taking pictures of people's faces to try and likely dox students who go to this campus. So
she's got her camera on shutter.
Yeah, it's likely that some of these students might get backlash, and it's really sad because I think that a lot of this is fueled and stoked by the media, the leftist media outlets that decided to post fake, lying, libelous articles on Kaitlin Bennett's open carry rally, trying to say that this rally somehow has something to do with fascism or racism of any kind, when everyone here has basically disavowed any of that. They're actually the exact opposite of fascists. Fascists, if you lived in a fascist country, you would not have had a right to have a firearm. You wouldn't have had a right to have a First Amendment to demonstrate. So even their actions are anti-fascist. And this group here mostly has all said they're pro-capitalist. They've made it clear they're not for racism. They're not for any type of white supremacy or bigotry. We've got members of the LGBTQ community. We've got people of various different ethnicities in this march. It's interesting because a group of Black Lives Matter protesters were yelling and screaming at one of the African American girls who was marching with this group and essentially accosting her for being part of this group, and basically saying that, she was there, calling her bad words and saying she was there with this group as like a minority when there was just as many white people on their side as there was as in part of this demonstration. So, things are unnecessarily heated, and I believe a lot of this tension is being fueled by the mainstream media, by CNN, by many of these news outlets that are posting lies to try to essentially in a selfish political way to try and demonize the Trump administration by demonizing people who stand for things that his administration protects, such as the Second Amendment or free speech, which every American should protect. You should have Democrats, libertarians, conservatives, Republicans, whatever, that all want to support the Constitution, because there's, old school Democrats and liberals were all about the Constitution. Today's modern liberals are that veer into the extreme left. They are socialist in nature, and they don't believe in the First Amendment, and many of them don't believe in the Second Amendment. So essentially, the police is having to escort Kaitlin Bennett's campus carry rally out to the parking lot, to their vehicles, so that they can leave, because there's so much hostility and violence that's coming from the group here of Antifa, anti-fascist group, which that's their name, but they're actually not anti-fascist. And many of these leftist protesters are engaging in terrorism, really, a degree of screaming, yelling, violence, hostility, throwing things, bullying, intimidating, in order to try to chase people off. That is their intended goal. That's what they do. So, essentially, this is what free speech or peaceful protests or the Second Amendment is coming to in this nation. What? Watch out. Gavin. Can you let us in?
Fuck all y'all. Right?
Ugh. Hi, what do you think about all of this that's going on?
Hi, my name is Edwin. I watch him all the time. I watch Owen Schroyer too. Yeah.
So what do you think about what's been going on here? How so many people are against the Second Amendment?
I think it's really weird because they claim that Trump is some sort of Hitler, or he's some sort of tyrannical. He's from a tyrannical government or something. So it makes no sense that they want to take away their own guns. Yeah.
Well, it looks like we have to keep moving, but thank you. All right, we have to kill the feed here. We're going to switch to a new phone because our battery's dead, but it looks like we're being escorted out. And the the police are having to try to do some evasive maneuvering to try to get people out of here safely. There's a stick in the air, looks like.
So stop it.
It looks like a mob. You got sticks, signs.
I've got less than 10%.
Okay. All right.
Can I just take a picture with you?
Yeah, just a minute. I'm just going to close out real quick. I'll take a picture with you. All in all, Kaitlin Bennett's open carry rally, which was simply a pro-Second Amendment gun rights march across Kent State, has erupted in violence from alt-left, extreme left protesters, when this group has made it very clear they are not fascist, they are not bigoted, they are not racist, they are just only pro-Second Amendment. All in all, we're signing off here. This is Millie Weaver, signing off for Infowars.com.